again for another episode of Roofer Reflections, and I'm so excited today. We have the NRCA president, Reid Ribble. How'd you get into roofing, Reid?
My dad had this very small roofing company. He was also a chaplain for the Winnebago County and Outagamie County jail system. And so with a large family, he needed to earn some extra money to make sure we were all taken care of. So I started working with him when I was about 16, just doing odds and ends. Mostly I would go and I would load some roofs in between jobs. I would unload semis of shingles or roofing that was coming into our shop. At that time, it was kind of pre-distribution era where you were buying most of your materials direct. But my dad was the one that kind of led me into it. And then he retired shortly after I graduated from high school. And so at age 22, I found myself owning a very small roofing company in Menasha, Wisconsin at the time.
You started very early with NRCA. How did that evolve?
So I was 22 when we first joined NRCA. So that would have been back 1977, maybe 75, somewhere there. I can't do the math very well. And 77 or 78. And then some friends of mine and encouragement from my dad said, you need to really get involved there, because just sending money in dues, it's nice that you're supporting the industry that way, but if you want to get the biggest bang for your buck, you need to get involved with the people and the work that they're doing, and your return on investment will go up exponentially. And that was exactly the case.
And what did you take into that role?
The biggest thing was my experience as a contractor, because a contractor had never led the association before. And when I was a contractor volunteer, I even became chairman of the board in 2005, 2006. So I knew, to the degree any volunteer can know, I knew the inner operations of how the association worked. And then along with that, because we live in a political environment, the government regulates and taxes the roofing industry pretty heavily. I was able to bring some of the knowledge of coalition building that I had learned while in Congress to NRCA, and we began to build coalitions there with all the national associations.
How do you build coalitions? Like what's the playbook for you?
Yeah, well, I think first of all you have to let people get to know you, get to know your heart, and I was always explaining it to my colleagues. We still understand that you, as an Asphalt Roofing Manufacturers Association or Polyisocyanic guys, you have a parochial interest in promoting that particular piece of the roofing industry. And we're going to extend grace when we have differences based on parochial interests. But about 95% of the activity and interests that we have are in common. And so why don't we focus on all these things that we have in common? Let's extend grace to the areas that are parochial. And let's treat each other with respect.
What do you think the average contractor or person in the roofing industry can sort of day-to-day do to help attract new people into the industry?
Well, they have to first of all, they have to recognize that we're not competing with the roofing company down the street for labor. We really aren't. We're competing with Home Depot. We're competing with McDonald's. We're competing with the landscapers. We're competing with a whole bunch of and a host of other industries that are going after the same workforce. And so where do you find those workers? Well, in some cases you find them at Home Depot. Some cases you find them at McDonald's or Lowe's or wherever. And there's a lot of opportunity in the roofing industry. And I've had a lot of folks ask me, why can't we get into the high schools and get those guidance counselors to see what we have to offer? And I said, a guidance counselor is there to guide someone to college. High schools get rewarded to have more people going to college. What you need to do is abandon talking to guidance counselors and start talking to the vice principals, because the vice principals are the people that are dealing with at-risk kids. They're dealing with that kid who would prefer to be outside than in a classroom. And who do you want in your roofing company? Someone who prefers to be outside rather than a classroom.